All right. So we're back with another episode of A Couple of Thoughts podcast. You may or may not know us by now, so I guess we can do short introductions this time. I'm Beans.
I'm Bree.
I'm Amber.
And it's your boy Drew.
Okay, so this is our second episode. The first episode did really good. We appreciate all of you guys' feedback and comments and some of your topics that you gave us. So we'll get to those towards the middle section of this. But you guys doing all right today?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Feeling amazing.
We went to the club last night, so you know.
Oh yeah, club quarantine. Shout out to Manny Fresh. He had it lit.
Had some good tunes playing. I mean, like classics.
We had a live.
I saw y'all live.
Exactly.
We was lit. We was lit, man.
Acting out of pocket, but it was fun. I ain't gonna, fun. Chilling. And slept in most of the day and worked out for a little bit, cleaned up, and now I'm here.
Mm-hmm. What about y'all?
I didn't do shit.
Nothing.
She rode a motorcycle for the first time yesterday.
No way.
Today?
Hot girl.
No, yesterday. It wasn't that bad.
By yourself?
I thought. No. With him.
How fast did you go?
Like 50 something.
He was supposed to keep it at 30 because we were in the neighborhood, and then he pushed it to 45, and then he pushed it to 47 and 50. But at 50, I was like, ooh,
I feel like
a little
55.
fast.
Like
Remember when that punk ass cop tried to stop us, Aaron, when you pulled up at the place in Dunwoody? And he came outside trying to check us. You
Oh, yeah. When I was teaching Drew. That was on my old bike. When I was trying to teach Drew how to ride.
Were you scared on there, Bree?
Not till he got like really fast. Other than that, I was fine.
Man, get on the interstate.
What?
Yeah,
I don't think I'm gonna get on the interstate just yet. I think I'm gonna keep it with the surface.
I'll give you a quick little, 110, little 95.
If you go 110, I'm never going to get on it again.
110?
110. 110 is fast in a car.
Is it?
Yes.
Faster than a car?
No.
Fast in a car, so you
fast
can
in a
imagine
car.
on a bike.
So
Yeah,
in an open space.
It does feel different though.
I'll
Like
probably freak
55 on a bike does feel different than
Do you
55
still
on a
drive
car.
Crazy Beans?
What's crazy?
Like how you...
Really?
I guess Bree confirmed that.
I mean,
I don't think so. I cruise control now.
Oh, seriously?
Sometimes.
But I meant to even ask y'all this last time. Like, and it's even, I guess for y'all, it's even a little extra. Like, with it being a quarantine, and you are forced to be around each other all the time. Like, we're still working, but it's still like you can't even say, "Oh, I'm gonna go here with friends." You can't do anything. Like, and I know some couples, people might be like, "Oh, ready to chew each other's head off." So, like, what have y'all been doing, if anything, to like kind of give each other space still, and like how have y'all been dealing with
Your
that?
me
Just
time.
being with each other nonstop. 24 hours.
My me
a day.
time.
That says the game.
I get on the game.
The game.
I be on the game. I can't hear nothing outside of the game when I put those headphones on, so that's I play the game.
I say he plays the game. I was playing The Sims for a little bit, and then I stopped because I was doing
homegirl
like
played
stuff.
The Sims
I
too.
remember the fucking Sims.
Oh, I love
That
The
game was
Sims.
addictive.
Yeah, she
I haven't played in like 2 weeks.
I made a character on her game, and then she didn't want me to, but I made up with her character, and I got her character pregnant.
Ruining my Sims life. Ruining my Sims life. My Sims is doing well. She's making a bunch of money. Because it's like
Wait, you can create
we're in
both.
two different
y'all can
households.
create Sims and then
Yeah,
join
you
in
can
with
do
each
all
other.
that stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, so like when he was playing one time, like my Sim like randomly popped up. Like I don't know where you were out. He was out somewhere with his Sim, like in a bar.
I said, yeah.
And like he interacted with my Sim, but I didn't know that he got my Sim pregnant until I logged back in on my game.
Well, she wasn't looking.
And I was like, my Sim is pregnant.
They call it woohoo. They call it woohoo on The Sims.
Wow.
And then you can do a woohoo and try for a baby. When she wasn't looking, I did that 3 times just to
I
make
was
sure.
like, wait a minute.
We
So
tried to
technically-
knock her up.
Yeah, I did it on purpose.
Technically, my Sim is a single parent because they still live in different households, and I was like, "It's cool. I'm gonna put my child in your household and just
That
go
is
back to my little
hilarious.
single life."
That you can do.
But she
all
didn't
that
tell
on
it. She didn't say it. She didn't say how she killed me. The Grim Reaper came and got me.
Killed you?
No,
He tried to come and get me. The Grim Reaper was right outside. He tried to come get me.
his Sim died because it was like a heat wave, and that he had on like winter clothes or something. And it was nothing I could do. He came over for like a birthday party or something, and he passed out.
This is like
Like life, like a reality.
And I would like to say, I would like to say that
I'm
she's
down
a
with
freak
that.
nasty and she put in a cheat code where everybody can get naked now. You can see everybody naked on the computer.
No.
Yep.
They have, it's called
Yeah, she put a
mods.
cheat code in so that you can see everybody naked. Before they had it all blurred out.
How
Now
does
they
that
get in the
work?
shower,
What do
you
they
can
look
see
like
them naked and shit when they're
They
having
look
sex.
like
You can see it.
They have nipples.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
They have like boobs and everything. It just made that mod, I wanted it because it made it like more realistic. Yeah. So like it made the girl like hormonal and like she'll like go through her cycle and all type of things. So I like it for that aspect. It just happens to make them naked too.
That is crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a whole virtual.
Yeah, I didn't get that far into it. I only wanted to get her Sim pregnant.
My cousin, I used to love fucking Sims. Like she would not let nobody
Diamond
get on the
plays
computer
it
and be on that
all the
computer
time.
all day playing Sims. Seriously.
I guess we can get into our topics. Who would like to go first? I'm gonna start getting a randomizer. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start getting a
hit the
randomizer
button.
and just get it so that we can just see who goes first like that.
That'll be fine.
Well, we popped it off
Me go
last
first?
time.
Yeah, I
We
popped it off.
gotta have her go first. So she'll go first.
Okay. My question is it okay to vent with like your friends about problems you may be having in your relationship? Like why or why not?
I'll go.
Okay, go.
You know, a little initiative. A little initiative, you know.
What you got?
That way I went first once, so I gotta go first again for the rest of the episode.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I feel like it kind of depends on the seriousness of the issue. Because I've had friends, for instance, where their girlfriend like cheated on them, and then they just start talking like real crazy about him. But he was kind of doing it. But you're talking about friends, like do you mean like in general, or like could that go for like in public as well, like Twitter? You know, people have Twitter and
Oh,
like
I didn't even think about
and
that.
stuff like that as well.
Shoot, I was thinking about like friends, but I guess
No,
I mean,
'cause people
I
do
guess
that.
people do that.
People do that all the time.
Just
People always
kinda
get on
go to
social media and just tell all their business.
Yeah,
So I had some.
I guess it can be twofold.
Yeah. So, but my thing, it kind of all depends on what it is. I think you shouldn't talk too bad. For one, then if you end up going back, then you just look crazy. Mm-hmm. That's one. The other one is just like some people, especially if you care about like how your friends see your partner. You shouldn't do that because it's some things that you might get over that they may not get over. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then it's like that. Those relationships are permanently like messed up. Like, yeah, it's hard to come back from, like, you may be able to let them come back, but your friends may, like, and I feel like parents are like that too. Like, if you tell your parents something really crazy that your partner did, they may never be able to come back from that with your parents.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same. Yeah,
Okay.
they're always going to look at them like that. So I just think it depends on, like, the seriousness of the situation, I guess. Mm-hmm. Maybe, like, some trivial shit, you know what I mean?
That's like how,
Trivial-
like,
trivial,
what's
like
too
what?
far?
Yeah, what's true?
Like, maybe something that's just, like, not that serious. Oh, like, he was tripping today, like, he didn't want to see me with my socks off. Just, you know, like something stupid. Like maybe,
socks off.
I don't know. That's the first thing that came into my head.
Like, take that crazy, be like, oh, he don't want you to see you with socks off, and then go into, oh, well, this is
Oh, yeah, he controlling.
yeah, like some parents might do like a whole nother, and they look at him like,
Yeah,
got him
I don't
over
know.
here.
I just think if it's like, I think you can get, it's like by person basis, but I just think anything like serious, I'd like rather keep that to myself.
in the house.
But I've kind of always been like that way anyway. I don't really tell people like shit that I'm going through. I might tell you way after the fact.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like this shit, like some years later, oh, like we come up like, oh, such and such just did this. And I'm like, oh shit, I never knew that. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I didn't really feel the need to like say it,
Okay.
but I've always
That's
been
fair.
the handle personal things to myself person. So
You don't feel like
Handle
you ever
personal
need to
things
vent to
personally.
somebody though? Like you don't feel like it'll build up inside?
And let's keep it 100 now, because Beans done talked to me before.
yeah, no, I mean it depends. I think it really just depends on what it is. A lot of stuff I can hold. Most stuff I can hold for a long time, and I'll be okay. And it's just like, oh, I'll just handle it, you know, whenever.
So you never
Whenever-
feel
in my
the
me
need
time.
to vent or talk.
No, I vent to myself. like in the car. Like I wake up sometimes.
You internalize.
I know that might sound
That's always
crazy,
like,
but
wait,
I sometimes
let's go.
I know that might sound crazy, but I like go in the car or like go on my motorcycle and just ride the streets at 3 a.m. or something when nobody's on the road. Like I don't really have to focus on driving or riding my bike because there's nobody there, and I just listen to music and like talk to myself.
It's
about
like
shit.
his form of meditation, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
Understandable.
I guess we'll let the
I think I
guys
teeter.
go.
What about you? Oh, we go, guys. Yeah.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I feel like no, not at all. Not at all. Like the only time when I go to talk to friends or family about my relationship is if something that I feel like I'm tripping on to get clarity of it. So I'll never be like, oh, Amber did this or Amber this, or I feel like anything that will make your partner look negative or make people look at your partner negative, you keep that. I mean, I don't feel the need to talk. I don't talk about that. Like I just don't. I mean,
But you don't never seek like the advice
Matter of fact,
from like someone older, someone you. Cause I want to know like when you have a problem and you don't really know how to go about handling it with your relationship, you don't seek like.
When it's something about me, I
help.
do, but I wouldn't go to like if I felt like Amber's doing this something like that, I wouldn't say go call cause I call like my mom. I would talk to like my uncle and them. I wouldn't say Amber I'm having this type of issue. Amber's doing this. It would be more so on a me type of thing. Like I'd be like I feel this way about, like, I wouldn't, sometimes it's also about how you like, even if there's an issue, I might put it across, like, okay, say, yeah, I'll take the blame for it so I can hear their response, and then even though I know I'm putting it into how I feel about it, I might say, I feel like Amber's not super duper affectionate, but I might project the question like, yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out how to, like, I don't know.
When you met, when we went and you met like my sister and you know their husbands, my brother-in-laws, like did you like confide in them or because I know like Joelle would say little funny stuff like, oh, that's just the Shannons or
yeah.
You know.
But even then I'll just be like, I'll put it more, I feel like more into like, okay, what I feel, how I feel towards it, or speak on something, a hurdle that we already got over. Something, but I'm not gonna talk about it like something present moment. I just because like for the simple fact of how I just don't want nobody to hold that against your like Amber, like my girlfriend. If that makes sense. Like I wouldn't want nobody to be like, oh yeah, he said they got these type of issues or these type of problems.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
That sucks so bad, and then they look at it a type. I just would never. I don't even think I ever even call beans on anything like that. And that's like one of my closest friends. Like I don't think have I.
No, we talked and something like came up, but there wasn't like a call specifically for that.
Yeah, I don't think I would like. I don't think. Yeah,
What
just
was
don't.
it?
I don't think I would really do that. I don't think I could really do that. It's not really. I don't know. I wouldn't even feel comfortable doing it. Amber or Breeks to answer her own question.
I mean, I always told you this. I feel like women, when we conversate, we talk about things on a more emotional level. Like, it's like we confide in each other where something that's triggering to us, whether it be like work relationships or our relationships with our boyfriends and stuff. We talk about very serious topics, and that helps us kind of relate to one another. Like, we both feel like we can share. We both feel vulnerable. So I feel like a lot of the topics we do discuss sometimes are very personal. A lot of time when women talk, it is personal. It is about their relationships with people. But I feel like when I do talk to my friends or my sisters, like I do kind of limit it. Like it's not like the real explicit rated R version. It may not be that way. I may kind of filter it in a way where it doesn't come off as harsh. Because again, like you said, I don't want them holding anything over your head. With like my closest friends, we do confide in each other with stuff that like may not be like, it may not be the best, and we may feel like ashamed or or feel like we wish it had never happened. But when we do confide in each other in those moments, we know that nothing is off limits that we can share. But I do feel like when it comes to me and Drew's relationship, I have to pull back on the amount of information that I am giving out, just because I do want some things to just stay between us. I want us to, put each other first. And I do have a bad habit of like telling my best friend everything. Like we tell each other everything. And Drew, he can't stand it. And it's just like, I don't mean any harm. It's just always how it's been. Like it's always how it's been. And
I think once you get to that certain stage in a relationship, you're at a certain level. Like it's just like we're
the
serious.
Dynamic
the dynamic
changes.
changes. It's not you tell your friend
so I
everything
tell her,
that makes sense.
if it's something that Drew is uncomfortable with, or I feel like I shouldn't be giving this information out, or be held against you and things like that, then I won't give it out raw, or I won't give it out at all. But I feel like since we are in a place together where we're a unit, we're a team, we need to be able to work effectively.
Keep it
in-house.
Yeah, agreed, 110%.
So if I know he feels a certain type of way about certain things, I'll limit or I won't share it.
So you still talk to your friends about...
I don't go to social media about absolutely anything.
But do you still talk to your friends about stuff or advice towards our relationship when you say that?
I mean, I feel like most of the time it's when I'm frustrated and in the moment, or like I ask my sisters this or that, or ask my friend this, but I feel like it's not anything that would be detrimental to us, anything that would make anybody look at us differently. No.
Mm-hmm.
I think I kind of teeter. I teeter because I do know that like when you share information with people, they can only take what you tell them, and because that's like your friend or your family, they're always going to pretty much side with you. And I just would hate for one negative instance, or maybe two, or however many negative instances, to like outweigh the positive aspect of the relationship. But then there are also times where it's just like, I don't feel like I can talk to you about it. I can't figure it out. Who do I like talk to just kind of like just either be a sounding board or just like to give me advice? I think I only have one friend that I have like remotely said anything about Aaron to, but it's also, I don't know, I think I was really like selective in the person that I chose. She's never met him at all. Like she knows of him, but she's never met him.
That's not even fair.
But I feel like it's fair. I think it's fair because it gives her more of a
I'm
subjective.
Whoever she says I am.
No, this whole person.
No, but I feel as though like it makes it a little bit more subjective because she doesn't know him. It's just like, well, this is something that's happening. How would you handle it? Or is this something that you've seen like in your relationship type of thing? And she'll either say like, yes, this is something that I've seen. This is something that I've done. Or it was absolutely terrible when I went this route. But it's not like you should do this, or he's terrible for this, or you're terrible for this. It's just like, figure it out. And like, she's one friend of mine that like, she can hold water. Like I have some friends who you can literally sit down and have a conversation with them and you think that you're confiding in them, and then next thing you know, the second friend removed come through and it was like, oh, you remember when you was talking about that? And it's like, what?
Couldn't be my
so
friend.
what type of questions have you asked her about Aaron?
Yeah, on the spot.
On the spot.
Oh
my gosh.
What are some of the things that you might have asked about Aaron and you guys' relationship?
See, because I can't ask that, because then it's like, oh, this nigga knows me.
No.
Yeah, I would love to know.
I like that.
Be
I feel
honest.
like I've only,
safe place.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I've only really said something twice.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was
think
looking.
The first time, what was it? It was about
She picking 2 out of the 20.
no.
She's being so hesitant right now. Just put it out there. It's a safe
I'm
place.
trying to think, like, how to even
You remember.
word
Just
it.
think, when was the time you called her like, yo, this nigga Aaron, bop, 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 boom, bop.
No, it was just more so like we don't see eye to eye on something.
Because you
And
shorter than me.
That was so cool.
That was so corny. That was so corny.
Both of y'all laugh. I don't want to hear everybody chuckled a little bit.
Like Beyonce
It might not have been my my proudest joke moment,
Mama
but everyone
knows.
chuckled, so I got the point across.
Your jokes
Now
have been bad lately.
Proceed.
It's just it was
I'm
more
on a bad
so
streak
like
right now. Don't worry about it.
yeah, his jokes have been horrible. Normally they're pretty good, but they've just been terrible. But it was just like we don't see eye to eye right now, and I was just like, I mean, it's fresh, it's new. I don't really know what to do. And she was just like, oh, I never told you. Like me and my boyfriend like went through that within like the first 6 months that we were dating. Da 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 da. And I was just like, wait, what? Like they've now been in a relationship for like 5 or 6 years, and she was just like, yeah, like she was like, that was a point in my life where she was just like, I didn't think that I could continue on with the relationship, but she was like, but no, that I had to like sit back and realize that dating is new to me. And I was just like, I tell her all the time, like Aaron and I are very similar in the respect that it's been years since we've been in a relationship.
Yeah.
So like this is still
Y'all both just came out the
new.
streets.
Anyways, so like the idea of a relationship and learning to be patient and understanding with another person is new, because like before it was just like, oh, that nigga crazy, I don't want to talk to him, or you're getting on my nerves, I don't want to talk to you, I'm just going to delete your number and move on.
And that's one thing I must say, Bree, that I applaud you on, is because when you're going, because what happens sometimes, I feel like if I, and one of the things, because it's not like I don't like or I feel a way about her talking to people about advice. I don't mind that at all. I mean, I do be like, okay, yeah, they don't have to know everything, but you're going to reach out to information on somebody who's in a relationship.
Yeah.
A healthy relationship for 5 years. That's different than calling your single friend like, yo, me and him are disagreeing on this, because your single friend gonna give you different advice.
You think she'll be biased?
It's not even biased. It's just if you're single, your advice that you give, and you, if that makes sense, like if you
have to be careful who you seek the information from.
Exactly.
And I completely, and just like when you said, you have some friends that can't hold water, but you know who to take this information to and share it with, because you know this person will be able to get, has good judgment.
Exactly. And I think it's good that you're going to somebody who's been in a relationship for 5 years and still in a relationship to go seek advice.
My friends are in relationships.
I didn't say they weren't. Why are you making it specific to you? I just give her a compliment on choosing.
Say this, I couldn't necessarily say the single friend, because for instance, I feel like you could, like, when I was single, you could have come to me for advice because I know how to be in a relationship, and my relationship didn't end because of me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I was like, a single person can give advice. Like,
that doesn't mean just because I'm single. Just because I'm single doesn't mean I don't know how to be in a healthy and successful relationship.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that relationship didn't work out.
But I also think a single person moves and thinks for themselves, and I feel as though like when you're single, or when I was single, I literally was like marching to the beat of my own drum. I was doing what I want to do, how I want to do it, when I want to do it, with really like no regards for like how other people may feel. And I think when you're in a relationship, you have to just be more aware of your actions.
I think your actions, that's fine. I think I'm talking about as far as giving advice.
Yeah, I feel like
if you were to hit me up for advice, and when I was single, I wouldn't go in my single brain and give him the single advice. I'd be like, oh, this is how I would probably approach this when I was in a relationship. I'm not gonna be like, oh, nah, nigga, come back in these streets. We about to get
I wouldn't say that, but I just
like it's not gonna be on no shit like that.
I was 5 years removed from a relationship, so I can't say what you.
You take it to the right person.
Yeah,
I agree with
but
that.
I was what? Huh? What?
What you saying, Bree? Don't stop.
Everybody trying to talk at the same time.
Exactly.
What? Like double dutch. Let me get it.
Is it time to jump in now? But I agree.
What
Like
saying?
you choose the right person to go seek information from. Because I think, like if you, like if like anything else, like if you want to be with, like if you're upset in your relationship and you need seeking for advice. Now, if you just want to be with the shits, you're going to call your friend that's just out here with the shits. But if you want to call a level-headed person, that means you really want real advice and you're really trying to figure it out. But if you like, because there's been times maybe before in other relationships where I'll be like, okay, I'm going to call the friend that's with the shits who's going to tell me what I want to hear, like going to the street. Like,
you already know what kind of answer you're going to get from that type of person.
Exactly, but you do it subliminally. You're doing it because you want somebody. You want that gratification. Like, be in the street, just give it up. But like you said, so it don't matter if the friend is single or in a relationship. You just know who to go to out of your friends for that good, stern, unbiased relationship advice. So my question is this: whenever y'all started dating, everybody individually, what were the signs? Corona, he got the Rona.
I was like, all right, Rona.
Somebody,
No.
he got the Rona.
Rona.
The wine went down weird.
That's all.
We need the police.
What do you call it?
Police in Atlanta. This nigga got the
What she
Rona.
called him, the CDC?
Call
Call
the
the
CDC.
CDC on me?
Call the mayor,
That's it. Look, we got
Keisha.
another room. You gotta go quarantine. Go ahead.
Exactly.
See you in 14
You
days.
gonna slide me Pop-Tarts under the door? I'm gonna eat.
I just put outside the door and run away, and you can open
Exactly,
it.
and run away. Feeding the beans. Okay, but the two-part question is this. Whenever y'all all first started dating each other, what are the signs that you look for to say, okay, I'm going to cut off everybody else and focus on this one person? Like, what was it that you noticed in each other's partners, or what was it going into it that you were like, okay, whenever a man or a woman does this, I'm going to put my all into it? That's the first part of the question. Second part of the question is, what are the signs or what are things that will make you say, okay, I'm going to wipe my hands of a relationship and leave? So what going into a relationship of dating makes you say, okay, I'm going to take this person seriously and I'm going to cut off everybody else for this person? And then on the second part of the question, what are the signs that will make you say, okay, you're going to give up on the relationship, or you had enough and you're not going to deal with it anymore and you'll wipe your hands of it? Boom. Starting with Bree.
Not me.
Starting with Bree.
goodness.
Let's go.
Okay.
It's
It's a
not
good
me.
question if you need a little time to think.
It's the wrong bee.
I think I'm a hopeless romantic. So for me, I fall for people I spend a lot of time with. I think that is how I build attraction and foundations and just an understanding. I feel as though I don't spend a lot of time with you, it probably won't go anywhere. Also because I am a serial text you back in 2 or 3 days because I saw the text message, but I was doing something and I forgot to respond in the moment type of person. So I feel as though if I want to actually have a conversation with you and want to spend time with you, then maybe this should actually progress.
She wasn't texting me like that.
Whatever.
I was getting a text back every minute on the minute.
Oh, okay, I got you. I'm about to say, I thought you were trying to say that I was doing you dirty. What makes me wash my hands with somebody?
Wait, Bree. Since I was the person who created this question, okay, so when you say because I want you to really understand this question here. So you're saying by somebody just spending time with you, that means okay, I'm gonna shut down everybody else for that because that can't be it. I'm pretty sure that can't be it.
Oh, because I'm just very selective of who I spend my time with and who comes into my space. Because how long did I knew you before you came?
A long time. He told me it was a long time before he came
I
to
was probably 5-6 months.
Yeah, you didn't need to know where I live at all. We can hang out, but you don't need to come to my house. We can do stuff outside the house. So I just think things like that, if you understand where I'm coming from as far as being a single woman living in Atlanta, you don't need to know where I live. We just met each other. We can do stuff outside the house. I think, it's just the consistency, because a lot of people aren't consistent nowadays. It's very easy, myself included, to just be I don't want to talk to you anymore and just stop responding. So I think consistency is the biggest piece, because I think you can develop attraction and bond from being around somebody more often than not. You have that initial oh, you cute, but does
your around each other all the time?
Yeah, and does your conversation match your attractiveness or not?
Ooh, makes sense.
Yeah.
And we'll be
Because some people turn out to be dull and dang, you can't talk about that.
Yeah. I don't want to talk to you. But I can't think of what would cause me to wash my hands. Ooh. I can't say, because in the relationships that I have been in, I was the person that was broken up with, so I don't know. I really don't know.
What's that say?
Oh.
Oh, I can ask questions like that.
She's a romantic.
Yeah.
She's a romantic, so she's going to reach
I'm just
for
asking
the
questions
best.
here. Don't fight me. I'm just asking the
You know,
question.
Kim,
What do you feel like you have learned from the fact that you've been the one that's been broken up with? Is it just them that they're just unsure? That could be a thing. I'm not saying it's you. I'm just asking you, how do you receive
you know that,
that?
like, the one instance that I was in a relationship, he literally woke up and was like, I don't think I want to be in a relationship anymore.
What?
See, so that's what I'm saying. That's not all you. I'm asking you, like, do you feel like if you've always been the one that's been broken up with, do you feel like that you're, like, unwilling to, like, give up on it even if it's not good for you? Or does it mean, like, you did something wrong?
Okay.
Like, you took that as, like, I was just saying, like, it was just always you. No, I'm saying, like, how are you, like, how have you received that?
I definitely think I'm more patient and understanding than most people. But I also think I need to find and establish boundaries for myself because I really haven't. Like, by no means am I like a person that's like being taken advantage of or like mistreated. But I think I'm always willing to like work something out at the end of the day.
You have faith in, like, you know, the ability to kind of work through those changes that happen in the relationship.
Yeah, like I definitely, because I'm the person that's just like, okay, if I'm choosing to be in a relationship with you, we're going to be in a relationship. Like, I just don't see
that comes from that traditional
where, like,
stuff. That's good.
Yeah, where we would break up, because I don't know. If I feel as though if I was going to break up with you, then we can date. We can go on dates. We can hang out, but nothing more than that.
So you're not going to take it there unless you can see, like, oh, like, you actually love this person. So you're going to be able to tolerate more from this person versus somebody you wouldn't consider dating.
Yeah.
Do you think, so if it was up for you, technically you would still be in your other relationships right now? Technically, because you didn't end it. It's not like you were unhappy. Technically, right now, you
technically,
would still
like, if it didn't happen, But it's also one of those things where, like, him and I have had conversations, like, after the fact, and, like, he literally just, like, chopped it up to immaturity. And I was like, okay, I can understand that. Because we were young. That was, what, 5-6 years ago?
Damn, I want to ask something,
7?
but since it's not my topic, I feel like I can't add an add-on
What?
to this. Because this is actually a viewer's comment.
Okay, go for it.
Oh,
So, can I do this because of viewer's comment?
Yeah.
Okay, so a viewer asked me, how do you guys, wanted me to ask how you guys feel about being friends with your ex and your exes.
Oh, okay.
Since you said that just came in my head. It's just like, you know,
Well,
I just
I'll
felt like that was a
say-
good time to throw that in.
I've said this before. Wherever there was once a fire, the ashes remain. So if you were ever intimate with someone, I feel like you may agree to, like, okay, it didn't work out, or I feel like that intimacy, that flame that was once there, it still has that residue on your relationship. So I feel like I myself personally could not maintain a relationship with an ex. It may, I'm not saying that I would go on to wish ill of them or anything like that, but I would feel like it's best and it's healthier for me not to continue on with that relationship. And and since I feel that, since I handle it that way, I would want my partner to handle it that way too.
But what if they
For
don't?
me, I feel like they don't have to be friends.
Really quickly, what if they don't? Really quickly, Drew, before you go, what if they don't?
Yeah.
What if they feel like, oh no, we already, like, we broke up 3 years ago and we've been friends this whole time. I'm not gonna just cut them off because you say I can't be friends with my ex. How do you approach that then?
Relationship.
Oh yeah, then
That was
that's a
our
non-negotiable.
situation. Yeah,
That's
that
a
was like
non-negotiable. Oh yeah, that's my non-negotiable. That's something that I felt like I've been in a relationship before where, you know, my boyfriend at the time was still friends with people that he had, you know, a relationship with, an intimate relationship with. And I felt like, okay, I tried it out and it didn't, it come to find out it was more than what they claimed for it to be. So going forward, when I started dating Drew, that was something that I couldn't deal with. Like, if you ever were intimate with this person and you're maintaining that relationship, like, especially if they show triggers for me, if something is triggering to me, then I'll let it be known up front and begin the relationship. That's something that I can't tolerate, and either you can end it or we just can't talk anymore. And I feel like for me, it was healthy to do it that way versus letting it drag on and
makes it
it
worse.
get worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like for me, friends with exes, it's like not friends, but I don't mind cordialness. Like I don't mind cordial. Like if that makes sense. Like cordial, because us being human beings and everybody being their own individual person, it's like sometimes you might it's just a cute if you cross paths some way or a random text or call out the blue, but it's a cordial random cordial ass shit. It's not even like I'm okay. I would still definitely 100% feel the type of way. Yeah, I would feel the type of way. But the thing is, us being human beings.
No, if you see me on the street, say, hey, bye, but don't be calling me. Don't
I mean,
DM me.
but as we all know.
Don't email me.
Okay, but as we all.
That's not
as
cordial.
we all,
That's taking it too far. Don't call him. Don't check on him. Don't follow him on Instagram. Don't follow him on Facebook. No. You see him in the street, hey, how you do? Okay, bye. That's it.
That sounds amazing. Sounds amazing.
It don't happen.
Okay, but I'm saying in a realistic way.
No, my exes don't come DM and checking on me because they know it's not.
Okay, so you don't think there's never been a time? Okay. Oh my God, this is leading to a whole nother thing. But think about it. If there's been times where you might have been like, okay, where you're wondering, not even wondering, but you just want to look and see, where you might look on your ex's.
That's fine, but it's different when you're acting on following up with that person. Oh, hey, how you been? No. Of course you wonder if they still alive. Okay, that's one thing.
If they still alive.
But that don't mean you go and ask them, oh, how your mama doing? Oh, no.
How your mama doing?
No, they are alive, they're well, they're living. That's all you need to know.
In the beginning relationship, what makes you choose the guy or the woman and say, okay, I'm going to cut everybody else off and just be with that person? And then the second part of the question is, what would make you say, okay, I'm going to cut this person off and wash your hands of the situation? Amber?
Okay, so when dating someone, what was the telltale sign for me to cut off all?
And say you're going to be like specific with that person. Well, even if it's just not me,
Okay,
even if you already had your certain standards.
I like
before.
to speak to you because I intend for this to be, for life.
Of course.
So when one of the things that made me want to stay with Drew was just
stay with him. No, the thing is, what in the beginning made you say you're gonna just choose, not stay with Drew, but what made you say you're gonna choose Drew?
I wasn't really dating a lot. I wasn't really just dating at the time. Like I was very strict on like who I was spending my time with, who I was allowing to, come to my place. Things like, kind of to piggyback off of what Bree said, being a young black woman in Atlanta, you got to be careful about who you have in your space, in your circle, who you're inviting over. And I was very protective of my, my who I share my energy with. But when I was dating Drew, one of the things that stood out to me was just our flow of conversation. Like we can just talk and talk for hours, and then when we did hang out, we just never wanted to leave each other. Like it was just like, I don't know, it was like magnetic. And even when we did go through our rough patches when we first started dating, it was just something I felt like I didn't want to let go of. It was like, I just had kind of faith in the relationship where I, just wanted to see it go a bit farther. But as far as like his positivity, our conversation, how we just meshed together, was what made me, want anyone else.
So coming into it, you had no type of like a list of things to say, okay, I want to make sure I'm going to find me a man, or a man's going to find me that is this or is that. It was just as it went on, you just gradually felt that.
I had already made a list and I had meditated on it. I had prayed about it, about what I wanted.
What was on that list?
Someone who was considerate, consistent, someone who would always keep their word, could follow through on things, dependable. I didn't want anyone that was just like, a liar. Non-negotiables. I had a list of those things too, and I just kind of already figured out and knew what I wanted before I started dating you, and that I feel like that kind of helped. But as far as like things that just would absolutely not make me want to date anyone anymore is if they just changed. Like if that energy, if I could tell their what they wanted from the relationship became different. Like, we have to have some sort of shared goals, or the foundation has to be on the same level. But I felt like like Bree said, like, I feel like I'm a romantic, and I'm going to want the best out of the relationship. I'm going to want to see it go the long haul. I don't get in a relationship intending for it to end, and I don't get in a relationship thinking that, I'm going to have to leave him one day. I'm in it because I want to be able to work through those differences, and as life changes us, we'll be able to kind of keep up with those changes and just keep going. But I don't know. Does that answer your question?
No.
I don't get it.
I thought it answered the question.
I don't think y'all, like, I'm saying not specific to your relationships that you're in now.
That's the only thing I can speak to.
Okay, but I'm saying before you get in a relationship, and if you're talking to somebody, giving advice to somebody, like another single girl who might be
just asking, like,
I
what
don't
just
know
things
what
are
that
you looking for?
Like,
I don't know if that person's non-negotiables
I'm asking
are.
you right now. So your thing is just you write down your list of non-negotiables. And what are
everybody's different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so
but
I
same
want
thing
to
boils
know
down to chemistry.
What are your?
I don't know what how that person feels when they're around them.
No, okay,
Yeah.
this okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's like black and gray.
White.
Well, not black and
Yeah.
gray, black and white.
Great.
I don't think it's black and white for as far as like what things you're like checking off that makes you move somebody from like dating to like serious relationship. I just really think it goes off of your chemistry.
If a girl goes out with a guy and dating a guy, and once she's like, oh, this chemistry is good, she should just cut off everybody else and be with the person.
No.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, I don't understand what you mean.
I mean,
Okay. Cool.
I say no.
And that's probably why a lot of women, okay.
What you say, Brie?
I say no because just because you have a good first date doesn't mean you're going to have a good second date. Mm-hmm. And I think, to my point, is just like you have to be more consistent just to see like, is this something that's going to continue while we're dating? Because if it continues while we're dating, then hopefully it translates into us being in an actual relationship. Yeah. But I don't think it's just like he picks me up, he fills up my gas tank, he pays for lunch, he pays for dinner. Like, I don't think those are the reasons why people move from like dating to a serious relationship.
That's not true. That might not be a reason you don't, but that's not true at all.
No, I don't. Okay, when I say serious relationship, like, it's definitely, I cannot say that it has not happened in like my regards. Like, yeah, there are people that you can keep around that'll like pay for little things here and there, or like wine and dine you, but those are also people that you're not looking to build a relationship.
No, I'm saying that some people, that's all they care about. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You said you can't say that doesn't happen.
But those people not really looking for a real relationship.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't end up in relationships or stay. A lot of people that you see that are married or been together for that long are not in real relationships. If we being honest, they're in it for like somebody gives them something, or like they get certain parts out of what they want and shit like that.
But
that's also subjective. Yeah, that's subjective. If you say
maybe
that you stay in it for one thing.
Gifts,
I'm not saying that I do. I'm saying that people do. I know that people do.
Yeah, but I feel as though if you just because you fill up my gas tank and you buy me we go on a $200 date, don't mean we'll be in a relationship.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. You can take me out, you can do this and that and third, but if that chemistry, if that vibe, if that intensity isn't there, it's just not there.
Okay, now let me answer my question.
Okay.
I feel like the ladies didn't give the ladies too much help right now on women. It's my turn, right? Can I talk? Okay, I feel like the ladies didn't really help the dating ladies too much with their advice that they gave.
Men have checklists.
It sounded like y'all both. Okay, it's my turn to talk. I feel like y'all both just basically saying, okay, if he's consistent. And that's what it is.
No. Make sure you know what you want in the beginning and you stick to it.
Okay.
If you have stuff that you cannot, put up
fellas,
with, know it before you date anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Fellas, all the dating fellas right now.
Give it to the fellas.
Okay, fellas. Yeah.
Give it to the fellas.
Fellas, listen right now. This is what it is. How you know when it's time for you to finally settle down with the woman that you are dating. If you're dating 3 women, these are the signs you look for to say, okay, I chose you, baby. This right here. And I'm going to speak off. I'm not even going to put it specifically to my relationship, but everything I'm saying is the same way that I chose. Because for us men, we're so... Now she got the Rona.
He gave me the Rona. Look at Amber.
us men, it takes us a while before we say, okay, realize, oh, this may be the woman, because off of how a person looks and off of the sexual aspect of the relationship, a man would keep a girl around for a long time and may have these fake feelings and stuff like that. But the thing is, you'll never really feel connected because it's just off of sexual, I feel.
It's carnal. It's nothing more to it.
Yeah, so I feel like the way you know when it's time to be like, okay, yeah, this is the right one, is whenever the girl challenges you and helps you grow. I think that's a huge part. Whenever you feel she's loyal. Whenever a woman is loyal and they're willing to do things for you, that you be like, damn, okay, boom, like, all right, boom, like, this is different. Like whenever like a woman just willing to do shit and she cares about your well-being, that's huge, because a lot of women may not even care about your well-being. They may put on the front. But whenever somebody's doing stuff like as simple as, oh, did you eat? Or making sure you ate. Or showing your loyalty by things like, okay, yeah, there goes, oh, you can pick up my phone. Or they're picking up calls around you all the time. Like, you just notice, okay, she really don't have nothing to hide. That's a sign. And I feel, and the sign of when she helps you grow, where when I say that, I mean like when she's just not letting you do whatever you want to do. Like if you come off of work and you throw your drawers on the floor and she like, oh, yo, nigga, that's nasty. Like, pick up your drawers. Like, what are you doing? And it seems so annoying to you. Because it took me, honestly, I feel way longer than it should have to realize, okay, let me just really settle down into this, because I matured super slowly. So I'm like, dang. What you mean? It's just boxes on the floor, like, you tripping, like, it's not that big of a deal, but it just helps me grow so much. And I know specifically for me, I think whenever you find a woman that take you outside of your comfort zone is the best thing in the world. Because then whenever you have a partner who's always going to make you feel uncomfortable, it's beautiful. Because for me, I don't know if it's because I'm a Leo or just the person I am, I love attention all the time. So I love all the attention to be on Drew. I love everything to be towards me. So being with Amber, like, she might be like, oh, like, just forget I'm even there. And I'm like, what? Like, what? I used to be I used to be so irritated and be like, yo, I need some attention. I need some affection right now. Like, I need affection. I'm crying out for affection. And she just wouldn't do it. And I remember being like so upset that she wasn't super affectionate, but then I had to think about it, like, maybe that's a good thing, because by her not being super duper affectionate like how I may want, it like keeps a chase in it. So I'm always trying to almost court with her at the same time, because like for me to get some affection, let me rub your foot, or let me just try to flirt with you a little bit, because so I'm always in the chase. Like me being I don't know if it's because I'm a Leo or just how I am. I love, and even like I said on the first podcast, like how I love the courting thing, with being with somebody that's not super duper affectionate, which I thought, no, I need to be with somebody like that. Now I realize maybe I don't, because now I'm with somebody who I always have to kind of court, or always got to do some little cute or romantic type of thing, or got to be, you know what I mean, like real, just I have to keep on doing that all the time, because
the problem. I do. I can see how that could potentially, like, how that could be a problem, though. It's just like, that almost turns into a favor for a favor. Like, I shouldn't have to always do something for you to show me some love or something like that.
I see what you mean. And
I get what you're saying, but I just feel like it shouldn't always be like that. I totally get what you're saying.
It's not like I have to do that for that, but for me, and it goes for each person, for each fella, because every person is different. Each fella. For me, I thought coming into this, like, I was the type of person, and as Beans knows, and I'm pretty sure Amber realized in the beginning, I love like, there'd be times when, of course, me being single, where I just feel like I just need a woman around all the time. All the time. Like, I just love that, but that's not healthy for anybody. Like, that's not healthy to always need affection from somebody else. So coming into a relationship, I was looking for a woman to give me affection all the time and make me feel love, when it was really an inner type of thing where I needed to work on my own insecurities and my own love type of things. And now I'm going off a little bit, but when you find a woman who challenges you, like a lot of people, men and even young boys, mostly young boys, you run away from a girl that challenges you or make you feel uncomfortable. But I think you need to more so embrace a woman that makes you feel uncomfortable or challenges you. I think that pressure makes diamonds. Yeah, and it helped me out so much. So those are the points that I say when you find a woman who's loyalty first, because you don't want no skis out here, and then a woman who cares about you,
want a little floozy,
and then a woman who's gonna challenge you. Those three things. At a point where you say, okay, I'm gonna wash my hands in a relationship, is whenever somebody in a relationship, whether it be you, because it could be yourself sometimes too, or your partner, just is tired. I mean, doesn't want to compromise, or doesn't want to be isn't patient to deal with your shortcomings. I feel like, like if Amber was to be like, oh, like me with some of my insecurities I may have. If Amber ever be like, oh, I'm just not dealing with you. You just OD insecure. Like I'm not dealing with it. I'm not dealing with it. I'm done. No, you gotta be this way tomorrow. Like if Amber's like, you gotta be this way tomorrow. You gotta stop everything how you feel and everything how you were raised and all your experiences be like this tomorrow. Then I'm gonna be like, okay, you want me to be like that tomorrow? Okay, cool. We can be done today. Because none of us are perfect. Amber not perfect. I'm not perfect. So whenever you come to the point where you like willing to not deal with whatever flaws I may have, or if I'm not willing to deal with whatever flaws you may have, then we might as well call it quits right there. Because
don't nobody come a full package.
Yeah, and beans.
Okay, so for me, I think the first part for me would be communication and conversation. Like if we can just talk about any and everything, no matter what it is or how serious or how trivial it may be, and you feel okay like opening up to me and that kind of stuff, or if I feel comfortable opening up to you like in ways, because I'm not that person anyway, but if like you make me comfortable enough to where I feel like opening up about things, then that's like a big thing for me. And then a lot of what you said, honestly.
With what?
Yeah, like a lot of what Drew said, as far as like like the loyalty,
not being loyal,
stuff like that.
Yep.
Because that definitely, like, I think loyalty would probably be like it's probably my one, and then like communication would be like my 1B.
Yep.
Like
loyalty.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be like my 1B, because like those two, like you can do a lot of things with those two. Mm-hmm. Like you can pretty much do you can pretty much do almost anything with those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
I guess like I know before I said that like not too much would kind of like turn me off or like make me walk away. But like actually like listening to you all and like thinking about it, I definitely think inconsistencies would be it. Cause like I think for something that reels me in is consistency, and then to like turn around and be like the exact opposite will make me kind of just be like, no. And I also have been in situations where like people just have like piss poor money management, and it's just like, if we're gonna be together and we're supposed to be building, and I understand like my money is my money, your money is your money, and our money is our money. If I don't trust you with your money, I can't trust you with our money. So it's just like,
very true.
No, I think that's the biggest thing for real.
One for me, like
huge.
where people,
I need that follow through.
where people don't like. I guess it's kind of sort of similar. People like not keeping their word. Like I'm like huge on people keeping their word for me. Like I literally don't care how big or how small it is. Like when you tell me you're gonna do something, I expect for you to do something, because that's really all you have. Like you can wake up and act however you're gonna act or feel how you're gonna feel, but if you tell me you're gonna do something, then you should do that. I don't care what the fuck else is going on. Like, because that's how I am. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I don't care what hurdles I have to go through to do what I said I was going to do. I'm going to make sure that I get it done because I told you that I was going to do it. So, like, once you get to the point where you're not, and like I said, I hold myself to that same standard. I don't even give people my word on shit to say I can do something unless I know I can get it done. Or I'll tell you, hey, look, I'm not 100% sure if I can get this done, but I'll let you know. But if I actually tell you I'm going to get this done or I can't get this done, I will make sure that is done. So if somebody can't do that for me,
that's such an unattractive thing.
I'm not rolling.
For somebody to tell me they're gonna do something and not do it,
and for me it doesn't matter how big or how small it is. I really don't care how small it is.
But I also feel like,
so somebody does that, you break up with them?
Depending on how big it is, but it will slowly start to like hammer away at like the trust or like trust. My attractive, like I'll like start getting unattracted to you. You start doing shit like that. It's just like, all right, well,
because I feel like if you don't keep your word, then I can't.
Yeah, I can't trust you. You can do any damn thing if you're not gonna keep your word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it boils down
Yeah,
to.
so technically, yes,
It'd be
that
trust.
I would break up with somebody for that. All right, because I know that all of you guys have like considered entrepreneurship at one point or another, or have mentioned like wanting to do something else. What has stopped you from doing it, or why do you feel like it may not work for you?
Okay.
Like why you haven't made the jump yet?
That's better phrase.
For
Understand.
me, okay, because that's going to be an individual thing. For me personally, the reason why, because I feel as though I'm still entrepreneur would be my goal. To have my own business, run my own business. But I feel why, and this goes back to also, which might be a faith thing or depending on how people are. I feel like it hasn't been for me yet. It hasn't happened because it wasn't like for me. I feel like everything happens for a reason. I feel like where I'm working at now, I didn't plan to be working at this long, but I feel like me doing it was exactly what was supposed to happen because now I learned how to run a business with 75 employees. I learned how to control food costs, labor costs, or I run a whole $6.5 million business. That's not mine. So now whenever it does happen to me have my own, like a lot of people when they first become entrepreneurs, they don't even know how to run a business on that scale. But for me, I'm going to go into it with like so much experience that I didn't even have to pay for at school because I was getting paid to learn how to run a $6.5 million business. So whenever I do go into it, I'll be prepared. So as far as why I haven't just jumped into it goes from, for one, how I was raised. I feel as though, and I'm not just going to put it on that because I've been grown now for a long time, but it also goes from safety security. Like, I feel like a lot of people who may become entrepreneurs do it because it's like, that might be the only option, just like somebody might become a hustler because your back is against the wall. That's your only option. So sometimes whenever you get in a job and you start making good money, it's bad at the same time because you get super duper comfortable. Yeah, and you get complacent. So it's like, why would I leave making whatever I'm making now to go start back from scratch? So some of the steps that I'm taking now to move forward so I can just make that leap is like minimizing my monthly bills, like trying to get rid of anything extra. So then my bare minimum bills are just rent, phone bill, and that's it. Because when I get down to that, then okay, I don't need that big salary, if that makes sense. So I'll say my main thing to stop me, I mean, that's not even holding me back. The phase now that I'm at is in this me taking the transition from working 9 to 5 to being an entrepreneur is minimizing my monthly bills. And then once I do that, I feel like, okay, I can say, even if I don't just leave 9 to 5, then at least I don't have to do it on the scale that I'm doing it now. Like it's not even a 9 to 5 that I work because really you're supposed to do a minimum of 10 hours, but being a general manager, the work never freaking stops. So even if once I minimize my bills, I can go work a little job and make way less now, but it'll free me up a lot of time. That could be my transition, like going from being on the top and then you go to the middle, and then I could not need to work at all, and then do whatever I choose to put my foot into.
As far as like entrepreneurship and things like that, I feel like what I really want to do, I would have to get my master's for it. I will have to dedicate time into learning more and getting that degree, because for what I want to do, I feel like you have to have certain accolades. You have to have you have to have that certificate to be able to do with what I want to do. But I feel like the reason why I felt like I couldn't really contribute all my time to it is because I've always kind of been working. I've always wanted that instant gratification. Yeah. I've always wanted to have my own. I've always wanted to be out the house. I've always wanted to do all of these things. But right now, I feel like it's gotten in the way of what I truly want to do, that instant gratification of wanting to be able to take those trips, wanting to be able to spend my money on, frivolous things. At this point in my life, I want to be able to pull back on a lot of those things so I can put it towards my future. So basically, I've always felt uncomfortable with the job I have, and I feel like that's because it's not where I'm meant to be. I've always felt uncomfortable. Even though I may be good at it, I may excel at it, it's just not what I feel like in my heart is what I need to be doing. So I feel like me getting that degree would be able to push me towards being able to set my own hours, being able to schedule appointments at my leisure,
Which is what you want.
Which is what I want in the end. I want a sense of purpose, and I feel like with the job that I'm doing, I've always felt tension, and it's because I'm not meant to stay in this place. So for me, I feel like it's all about in timing, and it took me a lot of time to kind of be able to wrap my mind around letting go of that instant gratification and saying, okay, this is where I see myself 10 years from now. How am I going to get there? So it took me some time. It took maturity for me to get to that level versus just jumping out there and doing it. Because if I had just jumped out there and do it, I don't think I would have done it right. So it took certain circumstances and certain experiences for me to come to this mindset that I really want it and this is what I want to do, and I'm certain of it, because I feel like I feel like I can be a perfectionist in that way where I have to be absolutely certain in order to follow through on it, or I'll just dwindle off into something else. So I've gotten to that point. I know what I want, and it took me some time to get there, so that way I know it's worth it.
What is it that you are trying to do, if you don't mind me asking?
So, well, basically, I want to be a therapist. Like, I want to specialize in mental health and in counseling. So, in order for me to do that, I do have to kind of do the workload. I have to do the clinicals. I have to go for my master's, or possibly even my doctor's to be able to do it. I want to be able to set my own hours and deal with people. I don't want to have just an overwhelming amount, but I want to have a sense of purpose and understanding the complexities of mental illness, or helping people work through certain things that have traumatized them. So since I've always felt like I'm a great listener, and that's something I always felt like I have a connection with or to, that's really what I see myself focusing on. Even though it may take a little bit longer, I may not have that instant gratification I will with this job that I'm working now. I'm willing to sacrifice that in order to have what I want in the long run, even though it may take a little bit longer.
Okay.
Maybe some of our listeners will be your first clients.
Maybe people you're doing this podcast with, because I don't know what's happening.
This is therapy for me personally.
I'm about to say, I enjoy this being able to just talk.
Yeah, this is therapy, because I noticed how argumentative I was on the first.
After watching it.
Man. Yeah, after watching, I was like, damn, I'm super duper argumentative. And I remember, my cousins say that all the time. My mother, Amber, says that. And I was like, but until you see yourself, I was like, damn, I like to argue. Who's next, Bree?
I'll go. Jumping into being an entrepreneur versus a traditional 9-to-5, for me, kind of is summed up as uncertainty and fear. I'm a person who craves structure, routines, schedules. I wake up, do the same thing every day. That brings me joy. I'm okay with it. And for some people, that drives them crazy. And I think I'm kind of also at a space where I just genuinely just feel lost when it comes to work. Maybe because my background in the traditional upbringing is go to school, go to college, graduate, get a job, have a family, move on. And granted, I've always wanted to be an educator. I've always had an inclination towards children and teaching them and just being around them. I'm also now year 5, almost 6 post-college working in education, but I've also been working with kids for half of my life. I'm the resident babysitter when it comes to my family. I'm the one who spent their summers watching other people's kids. My very first job was at a summer camp. I've just always been around kids, and to do that for almost 15 years is just I'm tired. I'm done. Yeah. I'm burning out.
Outgrown it.
But because that's all I've done, and I've looked at my resume and my experiences, it's all education related. And it's just I don't even know how to jump ship or to look at other things. And it's yes, I spent a stint of time looking at fashion merchandising and interior design, but I I guess it didn't pull me in the same way that education did. And it's kind of always just kind of been just like an interest. And I've always been the person that's into like shiny things. So it's like, I like accessories. I like anything that's gold. Like, give me the watches, give me the necklaces, give me the earrings. I'm here for it. So it's just like, well, maybe if I like pour into the things that I actually like, maybe it'll bring me some type of revenue. But I think like to your point, I like the instant gratification. I know I'm getting paid every 2 weeks. I know what my check looks like. And if it's $1 short, I can tell you that it's short and I want to know why. So it's just like, I'm used to that structure, and I'm used to saying like, this is my bill money, this is my play money, this is my savings. And I think that kind of just goes out of the window when you're an entrepreneur. And I also think I may not be as disciplined as those who are like an entrepreneur, because I literally, even though like I work 10 months out of the year, those 2 months where I can do nothing, I look forward to doing nothing. Yes. Oh, like I love to just wake up, and if I don't want to get up until 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, I can get up and do that. But I think that's the flexibility that I crave that comes from being an entrepreneur. But on the flip side, if I don't do the work, I'm not getting paid, and that scares like the living crap out of me. Like it genuinely
and I think that's kind of like the horrible thing about it, because I know I'm pretty sure y'all feel the same thing, because now after being in that 9-to-5 world for so long, like the longer that you just don't rip off the Band-Aid, I feel the longer it's like the harder it is gonna be for me in the long run. Yeah, because after doing it for so long, now after you get used to this amount of money every 2 weeks, and you're like, oh yeah, you think it's a good thing, but it's so detrimental. I know
it's only detrimental like if you actually know that you don't want to be doing it. So like, if it's something you want to do, then it's just like, all right, cool. This is
it's fine. Yeah,
but if you know for a fact that you do not want to be doing that, the longer you wait, the harder it gets to get out of it.
It is.
But I think that's, like I said, like I just feel lost because a part of me craves the structure, and I want the 9-to-5. I like to go into my job knowing there's a checklist and these are the things that I need to accomplish for the day. Versus like with entrepreneurship, it's just like, you don't know.
Those things exist. No.
I mean,
but the thing is,
you have to create them. You just have to create them. You have to create your routine. You have to create your.
But the thing is, I think you don't even. At least I know for me wanting to be an entrepreneur is not even in the sake of wanting even like the free time, or not even, or wanting like the my thing is just more so doing what I want to do and what I feel my purpose is.
Yeah.
Like, so, like I would, even if I had a 9-to-5 job that I felt was more on the line of my purpose or me doing what I want to do, I would be fine with it. I would be completely fine with it. Like, I would be fine with that. Once it's...
Why isn't his phone on vibrate?
But I mean, I understand, like,
my goodness, recorded
what he says about like finding your purpose. I thought children and teaching was my purpose, and it may still be my purpose. And I think that's why I just need to kind of like step back and do something else. And if I miss it, then go back into it.
Then you know exactly.
But I don't feel as though I really know what my purpose is. And like, this may sound dramatic, and I'm sorry for the people who may have been in these situations or may understand. But like, being in education and being where I work, I literally have felt like I've been in an abusive relationship for like the last 3 years. Where it's just like,
damn.
No, like, that's why I was like, I literally feel as though I have to like mentally prepare to walk into the building, because I don't know if I'm going to be cursed out. I don't know if I need to break up a fight. I don't know if somebody's parent is going to be here causing chaos. I don't know if my kids are going to show up. I don't know if the lesson's going to go over. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to be reacted to at all.
Yeah.
So it's just like, to be in a state where I'm consistently living that, it's scary and it's crazy, and it's just like, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm so tense and high strung at work where I come home and I take it out on him. And because like that's
But I
kind
think
of
that's more so. That's more so though. Not even a job thing. That's more so like of an inner thing. I would say, because I remember even having a conversation with myself like, dang, I hate, or I don't want to have to work this much. But even if you become an entrepreneur, I feel, and you just a full-time entrepreneur, my workload is going to be just as it is now.
Be more work.
Yeah, if not more. So even if you're saying you don't want to have to like think, even if you become an entrepreneur, depending on what it is, you're gonna still be crazy situations are gonna come up even more stressful. Having a 9-to-5 mate is really less stressful than being an entrepreneur.
Maybe.
Because having a 9-to-5, like you
it
said,
could be.
they're just a to-do
But I
list.
think-
Yeah, they're just a to-do list. And once you do that
and
list,
if somebody else set that list out
That's
for you,
it.
Yeah.
like when you're an entrepreneur, you
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
put the
That's
thought
easy.
into,
It's
what do I need
harder.
to do to grow this?
Yeah.
Or what do I need to do right now
It's
to
harder.
finish the
Yeah.
task
Yeah,
that I need to
it's
get done?
harder.
You
You
have
have
to
to be
create
disciplined.
everything. It's on
I
you.
guess-
harder.
I think
It's
it's,
harder
also
in every
just
aspect.
depending on like the person. I feel as though my job emotionally drains me, like all the time. So I think with being an entrepreneur, I think that'll bring me more joy, and I think that's something I need right now because I have been feeling like a zombie for at least last year that I've known you. So for like at least 3 years. And it's just like I'm tired. I love kids, but I'm tired. I need a break. I need a break.
Yes.
Yeah, it's time for you to venture off into something else.
Yeah.
And beans.
It may
It's
still have something to do
It's
with
me.
kids, but
Okay.
it may not be what
So
you've been doing.
for me, I feel like I've always been an entrepreneur. When I was fucking 12, 13, like me and my brother, we started off like airbrushing and painting people's sneakers, putting fabric on people's sneakers, like doing all this kind of stuff to make money. So I think when I was like 13, I might have made 13, 14, I might have made my first $1,000. So it's just like, oh shit, like this is like, you can just do whatever. Like literally, you can come up with anything. Like we just kind of like, yeah, we like that, artistic shit and creative shit. But it's like, oh damn, like you can wake up and decide, oh shit, I want to make money doing this, and you can do it and make money doing it. It's just like, even just everything. So then, like when I kind of got older and I moved out and stuff, I kind of veered away from it because I was doing photography. And I started to dislike doing photography because I was doing things in photography that I didn't like just for money, so that I could make money to survive. So I was taking portraits and shit of people, and that's like not what I wanted to do. So I kind of got out of it, and I ended up getting caught in the cycle of working. And the more money you make, the more you add bills
harder it is to let
and
it
start
go.
buying shit. And it's like, damn, I gotta keep fucking working to keep this shit up.
Yep.
So I ended up like working a job, but the main job I had, I bartended for like 6 years at the I don't care if I say it, the Fox. I bartended there for like 6 years, and every day it's like, this shit is like a game. Every day I gotta come in here and I gotta be this character that's like cool with all these people, and like these people that I don't really fuck with. Like I don't care. You know what I mean? It's like every day I gotta like, when I'm ready, time to go to work. I gotta put on these clothes. I get into character for the day. That shit is tiring. Every day to put on this act every day to go to work. And I tried so many different times to like get out of it, and start businesses. Shit, Drew know I'd probably even started fucking 20 LLCs, like just off of ideas, just to get out of that shit. I'm like, all right, I came with this idea. I'm gonna buy the equipment to do it, and I just might not follow through because like fuck, that instant gratification isn't there because I'm already making so much money over here. I don't necessarily have to do anything else. Like I was comfortable. Shit, I was living at the point where I had my own apartment, I had a truck, I had a motorcycle. I could take off whenever I wanted to. I was traveling the world. Literally, I would wake up and be like, oh shit, I want to go somewhere. All right, I'm about to call work. I'm not pulling up for a month. I'm about to go travel. I could literally do anything I wanted to do. But it came to the point where I was like, all right, am I going to keep putting money over being happy? So it's like, like I hear people, and I know it's not easy to do because like I said, I was doing that shit for 6 years, really just trying to get out. And I never really found a way out of it to be like, oh, this is where I'm at and I'm going to quit. I literally had to force myself to kind of do some shit where I knew I would get fired. So I ended up going to work and just like cussing out a manager when I knew I probably shouldn't have. And ended up getting fired. And that was really the only way I really knew how to get out of it. Because it's like, fuck, how do I get out of making all of this money, and I was making like really good money. So like I said, I could do whatever I wanted to do. It was me trying to find a way to get out of that. But it's just like, even with her, I'm sure she can tell, like, she started her like bracelet business, and I don't know if she can tell, but like, I am really good at being able to like sell shit to people, and like I know how to make money. Like, it literally does not matter what it is, I can turn it into some dollars some kind of way. And I've always been that kind of way because I
water to fish.
Yeah, shit. I don't like the cap that jobs give me. Like, it's like, all right, yeah, I got this job, I'm in this position. You're telling me how much money I can make every single day. Like, if I'm working a job and I'm making $10 an hour, the most money I can make is $80 a day before taxes. No matter how hard I go at this job, no matter... Shit, I can fuck off all day and I'm gonna still make the same amount of money. But that's what makes it hard, because it's like, all right, I don't have to go really hard. I can come to this shit and get really comfortable. I can come, no, this shit easy. I don't really gotta do that much today. But then also, on the flip side of it, like I said, because I just go hard at stuff, like at that job, I was probably the top sales every single night. So it's like, and that's what made me, I used to work at Whole Foods too, and I quit Whole Foods day after Thanksgiving. The reason I quit day after Thanksgiving is because they came in and said, oh shit, we made the store $1 million in one day. So it's like, damn, I was here for like 12 hours and you guys paid me $11 an hour. And that's what I made for the day. You guys made $1 million. And I rang up thousands of dollars worth of shit for you guys to sell. And I made what I made before taxes. So it's just like, for me, that's never been what I wanted, just because I don't want ceilings for myself. Whatever I do is completely up to me. I like that control of however hard I go today, and whatever sales I bring to myself or how much money I make is because I did that. And if it's not good enough for what I want, it's like, all right, you need to go harder. You need to make more money. You didn't make the money because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. So, but I don't know. It's just, for me, it's just in me, and I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like I said, I've always been an entrepreneur, and I've always wanted it. And it's just in me to do. Like, working a job, I was very miserable every day. It's just like, and at some point, I had to get to the point where it's like, all right, the money isn't worth it. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut back and change my lifestyle a little bit until I can get back to that point. But when I get back to that point this next time, it's going to be because I'm making the money the way that I want to make it. Like, I might not always wake up the happiest, like, because I don't have the same amount of money or be able to do the same kind of things that I used to do every day or when I wanted to do them. But it's just like, all right, next time I get there, it's going to be because I got there how I wanted to get there. Like, no matter how long it takes.
My topic is just a response to one of our viewers. They mentioned they want to know how we handle religious or cultural differences in our relationship. So to kind of start off on that, I'm not sure if we really have religious differences. I feel like we're pretty much along the same. I feel like we're on the same accord when it comes to that. But I know there has been instances where, like, previously I would be dating someone, they necessarily didn't believe the same thing that I did. Like, for me, I'm a Christian, and, you know, if that person didn't believe in that, I feel like it wouldn't really, for me personally, I feel like I do want to have to share some of the same core values and beliefs, because I feel like it'll show up in other areas of our life if we decide to have children, and how we choose to raise those children and things like that. I feel like it's really tough, especially when you've been taught something your entire life, and to feel like, you know, something tries to pressure you into leaving that, and it's something that you have been devout on for so long. It is very, very hard. I can't speak to that because I feel like me and Drew are on the same page.
I would even, and I don't want to interrupt it, but I would say I think we did have different religious backgrounds. I would say I feel like we did, definitely. I think I won't say completely different. I say what we did.
When I first started dating Drew, religion really didn't come up. I didn't really know what he believed in because he never really spoke on anything. And I'm the type of person where I'm not judgmental, and I'll give it time. So I wasn't really like critical or trying to like push my beliefs onto him or anything like that. I just kind of let our relationship and go with the phases. And, you know, if it did come about, then it would be a discussion to be had then. But I didn't necessarily push or pressure my beliefs on him. I feel like he knew what I believed in.
I did.
But I didn't tell him what he believed in was wrong, and I didn't tell him that, you know, that's absolutely wrong. You need to believe in what I believe in. I don't think that would be okay. But as far as, what do you think was different?
A lot, because I've never been I probably mean when I was like 3 or 4 years old, where I was a quote unquote Christian, and then whenever my mother did take us to church, I wasn't Christian. It wasn't Seventh-day Adventist. It wasn't Christian. It was like a Hebrew Israelite type of church. But a lot of when I did go to church that was different than yours was like we didn't celebrate holidays.
Yeah.
And I remember I even told you that we didn't celebrate holidays. So, and then after me being older and being not going to church with my mom, I still like did my own little like not even dabbling in religion, but like I had my own stuff that I stuck to.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So whenever I met you, I wasn't Christian. Yeah. And I haven't been Christian since I was like probably 3 or 4. And then I wasn't even going to church. And I'm just not the most, to like how you said, I'm not bringing up God. I may not pray before I eat.
I feel like I'm not religious. I'm more so spiritual.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of
where we connected on. Because the fact that I don't go to church, or I'm not I'm not Christian, I'm not this, and I may not read the Bible every day, but I'm super duper spiritual and connected on that end. And I say we both were the same on that. Yes, 100%, 110%. But I think we also had the same kind of where you might have been, you could have said, okay, you were Christian, but I'm like, okay, I was on the other spectrum to say, oh, well, I won't say I'm Christian, I won't say I'm this, but I'm a very spiritual person. And I think maybe that's what made you say, okay. Know what I mean? If that makes sense?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to, and even though I was not even against, because I wouldn't say I'm against celebrating holidays at all.
Yeah.
But it was like, I didn't feel like I had to, say, oh, let's celebrate Christmas. It wasn't a main thing for me to do.
I feel like if you are dating someone who doesn't necessarily believe in what you believe in, there has to be patience, and you can't be judgmental. And it has to be understanding. You can't be pushing your agenda on somebody who has been living a certain way for their entire life. That's when you need to know in the beginning what you're willing to accept from your partner and what you see from, like, even later on in life, if you decide to have kids, those are major differences that you're going to have to be able to come to terms with. And that's what you need to know early on.
To see whether it's something you be like, if you're a Christian and you're like, my partner has to be Christian, well, then you would know already early on, okay, that would be something that brought up. But for the fact, in our example, like I wasn't a Christian or a certain type of thing, and you were Christian, but for the fact of you didn't know what I was, and you didn't ask or push it, so it's like, okay, so down the road, if I said, oh, I'm a Satanist, you couldn't be upset at that, if that makes sense, because in the beginning you never said, oh, nothing like that, so you couldn't even be upset, but it worked out where it's like, okay, I'm a super spiritual person, but I don't go to church every week. I may not be in the Bible, but I'm super duper.
Even though he does.
In tune. Yeah, I do read the Bible. The Bible. And I've read the Bible a lot, especially when I was
I feel like it depends on the person, and a lot of times that is a deal breaker, and a lot of the time you may end up falling in love with somebody who doesn't necessarily believe in the same thing that you believe in. So that means you have to navigate the relationship completely differently. So maybe, I've had a friend who said that, his mom was Christian and his dad was Muslim, but they fell in love, they got married, they had him, and, it ended up not going the way it was supposed to go.
Yeah, I think if you're in a relationship with somebody and it's just completely different, I think that would be hard to try to even, because your beliefs, if your beliefs are completely different, it ain't. I don't really, because you can't. Because being in a relationship,
but it may not be able to.
Y'all in a relationship. It's like it's a team, like y'all combined together type thing. So if y'all beliefs are not Like, yeah, I don't like.
A
Oh,
lot
I
of
believe in
people
God and I
reference
believe in
being
Allah. Like, it's
equally
just
yoked and
it
you
just, I
know
don't think that would
meshing
work.
together in a way. And I feel like that's extremely hard. That is a really tough road to walk when you love somebody.
But
and
if
you
you're
don't
truly,
believe in the
but if
same
you're
thing.
truly in tune, and if you truly are whatever your religion is, you will love everybody the same.
I mean, you love them the
So
same.
if you say
but
you
that
don't,
doesn't mean-
so if you say you don't love somebody because they're not a Christian or they're not your
yeah, of course,
thing,
but
then it just shows, are you really
But
that
you
Christian?
You
boils
can
down
love
to
them,
the
but that don't mean you gotta be
principles.
with them.
Yeah, it's like, how do you go about doing this and that? It's just a different way of handling things.
God loved us all, so if you
Yeah,
can,
and that's fine. That's why I never really pressured
Yeah.
or wanted, pressure you into like, oh, what do you believe in, or
Exactly.
oh, this and that. Like, that's just not how I operate. I feel like people come to terms with certain things in their life when in their own timing.
exactly.
So I'm not gonna criticize or tell you.
This and that.
Just wish ill of you because
Which
of
I
that.
think
That's
we
just
did
not.
have a very good.
That's
good
just not
way.
how I
But
operate.
I will say
I'll
this
just
though.
kind of walk in my purpose, and if you feel like that's something that you would want to do, then you do it.
Then you
But
slide
all
to
I
it.
can do is be true to myself. But I also want to mention, another part of the question was our cultural differences. Like, I'm American, and Drew is Trini and Guyanese. So,
But I was born in America.
but he was born in America. Yeah, he's a yard boy. Ain't that what
You
No,
first
y'all
gen?
boys
You
are
first
Jamaican.
gen?
But your roots.
Yeah, but my
You
roots.
first gen.
The thing is, I was gonna say that as far as me and Drew's like friendship and shit. When Drew go out with his family, I'm like, I don't know if I want to go because they gonna go to the only reggae spots. And I'm like, I'm cool with a few of them shits. The club might throw on a couple of
Yeah.
them, but I'm not going. I
You
don't want to
be
go
there
out
all
where all they
night,
play is
all
that.
night.
I don't want to hear that shit all night. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I can't really vibe
That's
to that shit.
funny.
I don't know the words. All of them in the circle singing all the words, dancing and shit. I don't know this
What was
shit.
that,
So I'm
man?
kinda- if I'm not really like drunk and I don't really care what I'm doing, then I can't really vibe to
Yeah.
that shit because I don't know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you got the rhythm.
Yeah, you know.
He be
I
dead. He
can
be
do
getting
it.
down
I can
sometimes.
front-
Everyone
Yeah, I can get in there.
falls
I can get in there,
love
but I can't do. Like, I can do the hits that everybody know. Like that song, I know
Yeah.
that. But like, I can't do them all.
Yeah.
So like, after they're not playing the hits, I don't know them.
Yeah,
so
it's
it's like,
like I'm just standing there.
I don't
Yeah.
know, bro. Like,
Yeah, I feel like with Drew and our cultural differences, it is sometimes going to the reggae club all night. It's not really daunting to me because I feel like I'll vibe out,
Yeah.
either
You
way
be
it
straight.
goes. Like, so that's not really a big thing for me. I feel like I feel like I create the vibe when I go somewhere. My energy is what I feel like. If I'm in the mood for it, then I will,
Vibe
I'll
with
be fine. It's just really depending on me and what I feel like doing.
Yeah.
But I always, I don't know. I just always kind of been a go with the flow. If it's something I feel comfortable with,
Yeah.
I'll have fun regardless.
But I will say this though, like the cultural differences is a big thing though, like because it's total, like it's a huge thing. Because like my family is, I feel like I won't even say totally different, but it is different than her family because it's a big cultural difference type
different
of
how
thing.
would you say?
Different. It's something as simple as the music. Like how she said, the music
Yeah,
is
like
gonna be
I'm
totally
listening.
different.
My old school is Marvin Gaye. My
I don't know
is
old
Teddy
school Marvin
Pendergrass.
Gaye.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
like I
That's
grew up. My
different. Yeah.
it's Sizzler in the house. It's Buju
Yeah.
Ba. Like it's like that's what
Like my
growing
old
up. Like
school
so,
is the Five Heartbeats.
it's just totally
you know?
different. So like,
Shaka Khan.
yeah, like I don't know. Like I don't remember hearing those type of stuff in the house. And
Yeah,
I would even
so-
say things just like on it just totally like if she comes, which I'm pretty sure she could attest for, but being the type of person that she is and the type of person I am, I feel like you could put me anywhere, you could put her anywhere.
Yeah, you can
She'll
kinda
be
mesh
good,
well
yeah.
wherever,
Because
like, yeah.
even going back to like where her father from, it's like that's super duper country to me. Like I've never experienced anything like going to Mississippi in Vicksburg ever in my life. Like I've never
Mississippi.
like that's like totally. I've never experienced that before, but I could still blend. I could still rock out with that too. And I understand the balance of that. Like I still love that. When we go there, I enjoy that time away. But it's totally different than anything I ever experienced before in my life. Like, so how do y'all feel on the religion topic and also on the culture topic? Well, y'all probably from the same culture, basically.
Does it have to go from like us like us dating or just anybody in general?
I mean, you can speak in general, but then if you can like try to reel it back in to see how y'all dealing with it if it's something that pops up.
For me, I guess in general would be in general. I mean, I've tried to date somebody where like we seem to get along really well and shit, but then she ended up being like really religious, and it's just like, all right, I don't subscribe to any of that. I'm not religious at all. Like if there's like a poster child for like not religious, it'd be me.
No, the thing is though, I don't even believe that about you though. Because I think if you really paid attention, and that's what I think people don't understand sometimes about religion. Like, if you really was to say, okay, Beans, are you Christian? Like, and I'm not talking, when I say Christian, I'm not talking about just going to church or saying hallelujah.
Have Christian belief.
But not even, but
that's subjective because they all have all of their
I'm not, whenever I say Christian,
merged together. So saying do you believe in something that Christians believe in, that doesn't.
I'm not even saying that. I'm saying,
I feel is.
What are you saying, Bree?
Keep going.
No,
I'm sorry. Keep going.
I'm saying like if the way you live lines up with the stuff that are written in the Bible.
It don't.
And you're saying it don't, but if you really were tuned in and like a lot of how you carry it, like which one of the 10 commandments do you break? Other than maybe sex before marriage, but you can't even use that because marriage back then in the Bible days is different than just going to the courthouse. Because technically, according to the Bible, you might be considered married right now. Considered the Bible, because the Bible they didn't have go to court and all that. So, what 10 commandments do you think you break?
What are the 10? I don't know. Tell you what
you don't commit murder.
You don't commit.
You don't cheat. You don't commit adultery.
You respect your mother.
You respect your mother. Like you probably follow all the 10 commandments. And if you even looked into the fruits of the spirit, which are things like what's the fruits of the spirit? I can't remember. But I put money. A lot of the way you carry yourself goes along that. What a lot of people get disconnected where they say, "Oh, I'm not religious or I'm not Christian," is because of because a lot of the preachers nowadays might say, "Oh, it's go to church on Sunday, do this." But if you read the Bible and you said, "Let me align myself with some of these." The 10 commandments, the fruits of the spirit, which are main things, you would say, "Oh wow, yeah, I rock with that." If that makes sense,
But if I'm already doing it, why do I need to like?
Yeah, but I'm just saying you can't say, "Oh,
but
you can't say."
You're saying that I'm already doing it.
No, I'm saying you can't say you can't sit here and say, "Oh, I'm not a religious person" or "I'm not that," because a lot of how you carry yourself already.
The reason I don't agree with that necessarily is just because I like agree with certain things of like a way of life doesn't mean that I have to subscribe to that way of life.
He just has a problem with submitting.
He doesn't want to subscribe to being Christian. He doesn't want to subscribe to being Muslim. He doesn't want to subscribe to being Buddhist. He doesn't want the label.
The whole structure. I don't. The reason why I don't believe in any religion is because I know the origins of the structure of religion and why it was created. Because you feel as though religion
is here to keep poor people down. You feel as though
religion was literally created for control.
Because my thing is
what it's created for.
But when you have to stop being so technical and take yourself out of trying to break down religion and understand why is this a thing, I think you would find more value in understanding.
Always been that way.
Very true.
Where your values lie, I think that's where him and I kind of connect because I will not consider myself super religious because I don't know where I fall on the spectrum. Mm-hmm. Like I was saying before, I believe in a higher power. I just don't know which higher power fits me present day because I was raised Southern Baptist Bible Belt Christian, and there are just things that I saw growing up that I didn't necessarily agree with, and I feel as though if you say you're a Christian and these are the things that you want to believe in, and I'm going to Sunday school and I'm supposed to internalize and believe these things, but I'm seeing things that are differently, it's a disconnect for me, and it's like it's hard for me to understand, it's hard for me to trust when it's not what you really make it to be. And I just think as an adult, I'm just more cognizant of it, and it's just like, okay, there are multiple religions out there. And like, even though Aaron tried to say, "Oh, well, you pick what fits you," and I just feel as though it's nothing wrong.
That was a whole different.
I understand. But to your point, you still said you pick what benefits you.
Yeah.
I feel as though nothing is wrong with me saying, okay, as far as following Buddhism in meditation, like that fits me. That speaks to like my soul. And listen. I just want
to clear up the fact that we weren't talking about that. We're talking about the fact of right and wrong being subjective. You're talking about something completely different than what I was talking about.
No, stop being technical.
That's not technical.
So, yes, you are. So the thing is, if I'm saying that I want to pull from different religions because it benefits me in that moment, that's fine. I can't say I'm a diehard Christian. I can't say I believe in Buddhism 100%, but there are just different aspects of each religion that ground me in so many words.
I see.
But I think because I'm still on a religious journey, I guess you can say, because like I definitely see myself as more spiritual, but because I am just trying to figure out where I fall on that spectrum, I think our relationship is able to thrive because even though he says he doesn't subject to any one religion, he still has core values and morals that fall on that spectrum.
Yeah.
And like he can tell you all day, every day, I'm not religious, I'm not this, I'm not that. But the
he
way,
still
like
has
to
a set
your
of
point, but the way that you
standards
live your life.
Just because I live my life, if that's the case, I probably live my life as a fucking Buddhist, a Muslim,
But the thing is,
fucking Jewish,
listen,
everything.
and that's
my point being is like, yes, I can live my way any kind of way, and I can pick parts of it that, yeah, sure, I'm sure it fits into this, and this, but no, I'm not religious because I'm talking the construct of religion was created on the purpose of
I need
control.
you to get over that.
No, I'm not getting over it because that's what it was created for.
Religion is just for control.
That's what it was created for.
Religion
that's what it was created for.
People and religion gives people faith and it gives them something to hold on to.
Okay, that's them. That doesn't have to be me. I don't have to fit into any of that. I don't have to do what everyone else does. I am not religious. I'm not going to be religious.
That's
so
fine.
You guys
but I want
pressure me and say you probably fit this.
Nobody's trying to pressure you, but I just really need you to get out of your own way.
I'm in my own way.
Baby, yes you are. You're in your own way when it comes to
that affects my life zero.
I'm not subscribing to this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. When in actuality, you do.
That
when
affects my life zero.
It doesn't matter about it affect your life. Take yourself out of your shoes. Step back for a second and just see how you live your life day to day.
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm
pretty sure any single person, even an atheist,
an
atheist probably can agree with some things that are religious or any other religion. I'm sure they can step outside themselves and say, "Oh, I fit this, and this." That don't mean they gotta subscribe to it.
You're just so opposed to being labeled as one thing.
No, I'm not.
You really are.
When you really look at it, the messenger, it doesn't matter who the messenger is. What matters the most is the message. Each religion says exactly the same exact thing. If you study and look up, everything says the same thing. So whenever you look at it from a outside thing, you like, if you look at it from the outside looking in, you like, okay, wait. Okay, you got three or all these different people saying the same thing. It really don't matter who the messenger is. Obviously, the important thing out of the whole thing is the message. Live your life good. I mean, like, don't lie to your like how you said.
The right and wrong thing is subjective. Your
what
good
part,
is not everyone's good. That's my whole point of all of this stuff.
No. We're talking about religion. We're not talking about. We're not talking
you
about.
You just said live your life
Aaron.
good. That's my. No, listen. Can I talk now?
Okay.
He just said the whole point of it is to live your life good. Your good and my good. Let's just say.
No, and the thing is, when I say good,
it's gonna line up.
When I say good, live life to your good. Whatever your good may be.
That's my point exactly. But my point with all of this stuff is that all of this shit is subjective, no matter what it is. Right, wrong, good, bad. It's all subjective. I'm not going to subscribe to any of those religions that tell me this is right, this is wrong, because they all do that. They all tell you things that you can and cannot do. Every single one of them.
But there are things that you do in your life.
We're in the Bible. We're in the Bible. Does it say something is where it tells you like a specific, do this wrong, do that right? Well, I guess that's all over the Bible.
What you can and can't do, like being gay, having sex before marriage, those are things that off the top of my head they say that you can't do.
Yeah, this is true.
And I don't even read that. They tell you things you can and cannot do. My whole point being is, yes, they all overlap, but they all started in the construct of how to control people, how to tell people how to live their lives.
You remember when I said that he told me that I was wrong?
No, I did not. We're going to set the standard. We're going to set the standard for what is good and bad, what is right and wrong. That's what they do. That is the point of religion. That's my whole point in this whole argument.
You're
that is
against
what religion
having
does.
control.
And everything that he says is agreed with that. It tells you to live good. And in every single religion, they're different, but they all overlap, and they all have certain things that say, this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad.
You're so against somebody saying something is right, something is wrong. You're so against somebody saying, Aaron, sit in this box and be okay with being in this box, living right or wrong. You are so opposed to that, and that's been my whole argument.
You're right.
You're opposed to it.
I am, because everyone can come up with their own right and wrong, or good and bad, or what they want to do. Everyone's a free spirit. And that's in every religion too.
Hey, I'm talking.
Is that not every religion that you're of free will?
Listen to me.
That you're of free will. That's in every single religion, that you're of free will. So if I'm of free will, I can do what I want to do.
I know. I want you to take yourself out of being in your own head.
I am.
And just observe.
I am observing.
Listen.
And everybody does exactly what they're going to do.
You're not. Because
so that's why the whole repenting thing is a thing. Because you did what you wanted to do, and they're telling you that you're wrong, and that you should basically apologize for what you did because you realized later on that what you did was wrong. You're of free will, and that's why you did your mistake. You committed your sin because you're of free will.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, nobody's telling you that your moral compass should be
a specific way.
Yeah, a specific way.
Once you're doing what you want to do and what you feel is good,
your heart is feel is right, but
that's it.
That could line up with
like
something.
I think a lot when the Bible.
Listen
to this. Listen to this though, because this is gonna really bust your head. This is gonna really bust your head right now, and probably everybody's head. Because and this is one thing me and my mother talk about. I really haven't really talked about it with anybody outside my mother, but I've read the Bible a lot. Whenever I used to go to like the Hebrew Israelite church with my mother, I read the Bible from the front to back. And one thing me and my mother the other day was talking about, like in the Bible, in all these religions, when they say they're talking to God, and God is saying this, the positive, and why it goes back to what you're saying about what's good to each person is good. What if in the Bible, God is yourself? As crazy as it may sound, like, so therefore what I'm saying is
everything that you want him, her, it to be. You don't have, but that's my thing is when I say you just don't want to fall into a box of checking off. I'm
he just doesn't want to be categorized.
You don't that you're so opposed to falling into a box that you don't even realize that you still have these beliefs that fall along with all of these religions.
I think the difference for a lot of where what I'm saying is different is because I'm talking about religion, but religion and spirituality are not the same thing.
Agreed.
And that's the difference. What I'm saying is, yes, being spiritual and all the shit I'm saying is more spiritual. I don't believe in the social construct of religion.
So you're spiritual to me
is
you're
bullshit.
spiritual.
Yes.
What are the social constructs of religion?
When you're religion, you follow that religion's book. When you're Muslim, you follow the Quran.
Yeah, because
when you're Christian, you follow the Bible. That's my point.
We just looked up what religious means, and religious means the belief in a religion.
That's my point. If you're Christian, you believe in Christian beliefs. I'm spiritual. I believe in whatever I believe in. It has nothing to do with religion. That's my point. Mm-hmm. You guys are putting religion on it when it has nothing to do with religion. Of course, anything I might fall in line with Christian, like I said, Christianity, Muslim, or Jewish, or any of the other ones.
I always go back and forth between Muslim and Muslim.
Sure, that's totally fine. I'm saying I understand that, but I'm saying you guys keep putting the social contract of religion on me, and it's more spiritual than anything.
Okay, so I want to hear about cultural differences between you guys.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have cultural differences.
Cultural differences.
Like my mom's Puerto Rican, but like my mom's more of a black woman.
That's her ethnicity. Okay.
But I think as far as like being American, being African American, being Southerner, being like all the intersectionalities is just like
she's Southern as hell.
Overwhelming.
She's Southern.
But the thing is, like, you want to say I'm Southern, but you fail to realize and you fail to adopt that Georgia raised you.
No.
You want to say, I grew up in a house with people from up north. I listen to music from up north. I've been down here since I was whatever. I'm not
Let me explain
Southern.
this and tell me if this makes sense to you. So, yes, I grew up in Georgia, right? Mm-hmm. But every single person in my household is from up north. I went up north for the summers. How does that not make any sense that would affect me?
My thing is like you're really trying to discount that you have Southern roots. Yes, your
Southern roots do I have?
foundation may be Northern.
What Southern
Yes,
roots do I
you
have?
were born in Massachusetts, but what raised you,
Yeah, I
what
agree.
gave you the mindset that you have, the things that you see,
I learned
come
much more
from
in my
Atlanta,
house.
Georgia.
No, I learned much more in my
No,
household
but
than
the thing
outside
is-
my
No,
household.
but
Your
I think-
environment
everything I've
does.
ever
Your
said.
environment does impact how you are as a person. Where you were
Yes,
raised,
but I
what
feel like if you're talking
surrounded
about how you're raised, it's more so what's in your household than what's outside
But
of your
okay,
household.
but you're literally trying to sit here and say, oh, because the people in my household are from up north and they listen to northern music, I don't fuck with the South. We've had those conversations.
I'm not saying I
That's how
don't
that
fuck with
comes
the
off
South,
to
and I'm
me.
not saying that being in the South didn't affect me.
Huh?
The thing is, I understand what he's saying because, like, and I could relate to this in a huge amount because whether being born in New York, live in Atlanta, like, my parents are Guyanese and Trinidadian. So, therefore, even though I was born in America, being New York, I grew up not listening to American music. Like, so my whole household, I grew up listening to reggae.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I was born in America, my parents being West Indian had from the food I eat and from the food that I like to this day. I like curry chicken, oxtail, roti, black cake. That's the type of stuff I like. Even though I never been to Trinidad ever, and I never been to Guyana ever, just for the fact of growing up in that household, and even living in New York, living in Georgia, even though I'm not saying I don't like macaroni and because we eat macaroni even West Indian, but like it's like what your parents are impacts hugely. I think even more so than your.
You just
Period.
said that your mama is a black Puerto Rican, so
Okay,
what's up?
I never said anything about being Spanish.
So
when did I
what's
mention?
up?
At what point did I mention anything about being
Okay,
Spanish?
you
I said
you
being a
didn't.
Northerner.
But
I don't know how
what values do
I can't
you
speak to
have
how my
from
mom
your
was
mother
raised.
being a black Puerto Rican raising you?
I grew up in a black
How
household.
did it impact you?
I don't even remember a time where I just lived with my mom. I was fucking 5 when we moved in with other people, and that's how I grew up.
That's fine.
So I grew up
I
in
don't
a
care about who you
my
grew
mom
up
was
with,
the
how were
only.
you raised.
That's my
You was
point.
raised by the
I was
people you grew up
born by
with,
the people
yeah.
I grew up with. My whole entire household was black. We didn't listen to Spanish music in the
Yeah,
house.
exactly,
It was
yeah,
all
that
black
makes sense,
people.
yeah.
My mom,
I see.
when I could remember, I moved down here when I was 6 years old. Everyone in the house was black. Of course, I don't know that much
Yeah.
Spanish. That
You don't
doesn't
know
make any
Spanish,
sense.
exactly, yeah.
You're proving my point for me.
At what point am I proving
That's kind of
Because you're talking about the household, how I was raised. When I grew up, I grew up in a
you
black
moved
household.
down here at 6 in a black household, but you want to
Everybody around you
continue
versus
West
me
Indian.
being a black
to
American. I just know
discount
the culture
that
we created
a
here
black
in America.
culture
I
and
don't
or a
know
black
what my roots
be
are.
When I
quiet
said I
and
wasn't black.
be quiet and listen, please. You want to say you grew up in a black household? Yes, they may be mostly Northerners or they're all from the North, but you grew up in a Northern household in the South. But you want to say that the Black South had no impact on you being raised and how you see the world?
First of all, that's not what I said.
So what are
what
you
I
saying?
said was how the same way people say how I was raised is how I am. You're more raised in the house than you are out of the house. To
So-
say that the outside world had no effect on me would be absolutely ridiculous and foolish to say.
But you're trying to make it seem as though like being a Southerner is such a horrible thing, and
I
that
didn't. It's just different from
you're
me.
making it seem as though like you are just
Whoa.
like you exude
That's funny.
Northerner. I'm from the North. I don't fuck with the South. I'm from the North. I'm better than you.
I never said that.
No, but
When did I
that's
say
the
that?
perception that
How did I
people
give that off?
listen.
I fuck with
That
the South.
sangria got
Y'all
pretty
niggas
drunk.
No, because
got tunes.
y'all both are from the North.
It's
but I
just
want
funny
you
that
to understand.
it's just funny
people-
because I listen to Dipset when I play it. She's like, "Oh, this does nothing for me," and she plays like some Outkast shit. I'm like, "Oh, I don't really. This is cool.
But
I
that's
fuck with it."
but
it's
I
cool.
want you to understand where people from the South, like I really feel like it's always a slight when people from the North is just like, oh, I'm Northern. The South didn't raise me. The South has no impact on me. When y'all niggas been down here for more than half of your lives.
But the
Make
thing
it
is,
make sense.
you don't know the opposite of that because you've never been Southern and moved
I
up
don't
north. You
know,
feel
but I
the
want
same
you
way.
to make it make sense. Y'all hold so tightly onto being a Northerner when you
Yeah.
don't, but you don't know being a Northerner outside of pre-K. Make it make sense.
That's not true.
You don't know being a Northerner outside. You said
That's
you
not
moved out
true.
here when you were 6.
But that's not true.
I'll speak to it. I'll speak to it right now.
That's not true.
The thing is, I know for me, for not even being a West Indian, moving to Georgia super early, I'll say, I mean, for me personally, I claim my Georgianness to the fullness. I claim that. But the thing is, people may still say, like, if I meet somebody, they might say, oh, you from New York? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm born in New York, but I've been living in Georgia for this long. But the fact, and so it's not like I'm just going to say, oh, anti-Atlanta or anti-New York and just claim Atlanta, all of that pieced me together, if that makes sense. I feel like all of that pieced me. So whatever somebody looks at me or listens to me and say, oh, New York nigga or oh, Atlanta nigga, to me, it's like I'm a mixture, and now I'm living in Texas now for 2 years. The longer that goes on, it's gonna be Texas is gonna become part of me. Like it's also, but whatever somebody sees or judges or says, okay, that's whatever it is. You accept. I mean, you look at Drew however you take Drew, but everything together. Georgia has a huge impact on my life. New York has a huge impact on my life. Guyana and Trinidad, never been there before, huge impact on my life. Mm-hmm. Texas, only been here 2 years, not as huge as the other places, but it's also, I know in the end, going to leave a print on my life.
We appreciate you guys' feedback and comments. Keep leaving feedback and comments or topics you may want us to talk about, or questions, or maybe if you want to get deeper into the conversation, you can comment on the YouTube or
and don't just DM me or text me your responses.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I want to
send
hear
it to
it.
send it to the actual page. A couple of thoughts pod. Engage with the actual page and the actual brand so that everybody can see it. But yeah, so this was a good one. We'll see you guys on the next one.
All right.
And peace out.
Bye-bye.
To the next one.